you going to chase a paycheck? Or are you going to chase after your dreams? And that kind of just hit me. But
where do you find your inspiration to just keep going every single day?
I can tell you that every time that I've evolved into something bigger, it's never been when things are good. It's always been when things are, I'm at rock bottom, and then I come out on top even stronger.
Because not every single business you start is gonna be the business.
Gym is my baby. Gaia was a great learning curve. The car rentals, it was something that I had as a passion, but it was just kind of a fun thing. Gym is my baby, number one. Number two, Evoren is kicking off in a great thing. So.
I come in here, it looks professional. Tune into the content.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Direct Discussions. We have a special guest in the building today, Angel Diaz. Let's go, baby.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Number one podcast in the world, in Texas. Always mess up on that. So how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good, man. First of all, thanks for having me on. Thanks for all the viewers. You guys are doing awesome things. So I'm happy to come on out, share a little bit about me and, kind of even ask you a little bit of questions to your viewers too, man. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that'd be funny. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever asked us questions. That's funny. So I want to ask you, how are you actually doing today? How are you doing? How's your family doing? Your daughter?
I appreciate that, man. I'm doing good. It's a Monday. It's always a good start of the week, right? I like to kind of start off my days actually on Sundays, right? Sunday's always the first of the week. So I'll do my meal prepping. I'll do, set up all my meetings and everything. I had a couple of business meetings yesterday just to set out the week, make sure it's a productive week. And also just time managing to have better time with my wife, with my daughter, man. Recently me and my wife had a discussion. She said, man, I want to thank you for all the things you're doing and, kind of putting more time to me, to our daughter. I got a 2-year-old daughter and, time flies, man. Whenever you got little kids, time is the most precious thing we got, right? And the last thing I want is to get so busy in projects and business that then I look back and my daughter's going off to college, right? So I want to definitely be there for all the little moments.
Yeah, see, you say that. I could have sworn you just had your daughter 8-9 months ago.
Yeah,
and now
man.
You're telling me she's already about to be 2? That just tells you time flies by so fast.
Yeah,
and you said you have a daughter, right?
I do, yeah. Little girl.
Okay. And you said
Kylie.
she's 2?
She's 2.
Kylie
Rain, yep.
Kylie Ray.
How about you, bro? Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I got 6. And I was just
all different baby mamas?
I would hope not. No, I just got my one. So, all right, Angel, tell us, when did you get into entrepreneurship, or has entrepreneurship always been within you?
It's always been, I would say, within me. We went to school together, right? My aspirations back in school were I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to do something to help other people, right? Help other individuals to be better, to be there. And I actually tore my ACL in high school playing football, and that kind of inspired me. I wanted to become a physical therapist at first, really. So I'm like, man, you know what? I want to be there, kind of how, therapists helped me, right? To get better, get back on the field, get back into playing sports, get back into working out. But also at the back part of me wanted to become a trainer because quick little backstory, whenever I was younger, and I mean a lot younger, maybe 12 years old, maybe 11 years old, I was really overweight. I was about 80 pounds, 100 pounds overweight, and I was a pre-diabetic as a kid growing up. As a kid growing up, you don't really think about, the negative effects of these things. You're just a kid. You're just trying to have fun. Your parents tell you, hey, you got to get in better shape. You got to lose weight because when you get older, like us, and you got your kids, going back to kids, you're not going to be able to play with them. Your health's not going to be intact. Man, as a kid, you don't think about these things, right? I'm like, dude, I'm 11 years old. This is talking about, 50 years from now. I'm not even thinking about that. But, one day we went to the doctor and it really hit me, man. The doctor told me that I was a pre-diabetic, and I go, wow, this is serious, right? And then I had a family member, an aunt, pass away due to diabetes, and I go, man, this is serious. I got to get my health in check. So part of me also goes, you know what? I kind of want to do personal training. I kind of want to do physical therapy, something along those lines. But this was even before thinking about becoming a therapist. Again, this is in middle school. So then that part of me was always there. So then I told my parents, look, I want to lose weight. Help me out. Help me do better. So they took me out to see a dietitian. Long story short, I lost over 100 pounds in 6 months. I literally just flipped the switch, man. I literally go, man, you know what? I need to lose a bunch of weight. I'm fat, I'm overweight, I know it, so I'm ready to do whatever it takes. 6 months down the road, I went on a strict keto diet, no carbs, just literally flipped the switch, man. A little kid, I'm like, bam, let's go. And so that's why whenever I train people, man, I go, dude, I've been there, right? It's all a mindset. It's how bad do you want it? I was there. I knew I wanted it really bad. So I was willing to do whatever it takes. So I did just that. And first day in high school, I actually, I don't know if did we have a computer class together?
I think I know which one you're talking about.
think
It was in the second floor, right?
I think it was an older. I don't remember her name. An older lady.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And I don't know if you remember, she gave us an assignment, and she goes, "Hey, or we didn't have that class. I don't know if your teacher did this to you, but she's like, hey, write a letter to yourself in the future within 10 years from now where you want to be." She's like, just dream. Don't hold back. Just dream. So I go, cool. So on that piece of paper, I wish I would have brought it. I still actually have it.
That's cool. That would have been lit.
I wanted to become a personal trainer. I wanted to help inspire lives. I wanted to help change the lives of others. Just, like the dietitian helped me change my life. And I wanted to just, spread, the love of God that he gives for us and, the power that we have through Christ. And not just that, but also to someday open my gym. In that letter, I literally specifically put, it doesn't matter between now and when I'll open a gym. I could be 20, I could be 30, I could be 40, I could be 60. There is no timeline. That would just be a great goal of mine to have. And it literally kicked off from there, man. I mean, in high school, I started, training some cousins, some friends, not charging anybody, just doing it for free, getting some experience. And then after I left out of high school, I went out into I think I got a job at a pharmacy. I trained and I did actually pharmacy tech work there. Did a lot of database entry stuff. And during the process, I had a lot of people that start asking, hey, do you train? I go, well, yeah, actually, I'm a certified trainer. So I started training people there, man. And the goal was never really, I guess, to become an entrepreneur. It was more so just to change the lives of others, right? So I was like, I love doing what I do. I love seeing other people change for better. Me and my mom even had discussions, and she goes, how much money do you want to make in this? And I go, I don't really have a dollar amount in mind. I just want to be there for others, just the same way the dietitian was there for me. So I go, I don't care how much money I make. I just want to transform lives. And she goes, yeah, but you got to think about a realistic number. You can have a family at some point in your life. And I go, and this is even everybody watching, I can tell you now, we'll get to that where I'm at now. But when you chase money, you're chasing all the wrong things. You're chasing all the wrong reasons. When you don't chase money and you're chasing a passion, you truly want to make a difference, the money will begin to flow into you, man. Yeah. It's just the what I've seen, personal experience. I got many friends who are really well off for themselves, much even better than me. Friends who are millionaires, even billionaires. And I mean, they ask them all, they're all going to say the same thing. So I guess, I've always kind of known what I wanted, just not entrepreneurship. I just wanted to be there, a helping hand for others, man. And so I trained, when I left the pharmacy, I got into a commercial gym called UFit Health Clubs. I worked there probably from like the age of 17, 18 years old up until about 22, 23. So about 4 or 5 years. But then whenever I started in the company was a fairly new market in the state of Texas. They originally came from Florida. So whenever they were new, a baby company, they're probably going to pay their employees a really good, percentage, right? So my pay was a competitive rate in the gym industry. But then the company, I guess, started seeing, man, we can't keep paying our directors, our managers what we pay them because we're going to go under. So one day they called me to the office. They cut my pay basically in half. And I go, man, I can't do this. I mean, I have a car now, I'm paying bills now. Like I literally signed, I have a bunch of things under my name. I can't go from this pay to this pay. So at the time I was also going to Eastfield College and I was studying business classes. And I had actually just finished in the business course at Eastfield. And I finished in, I think it's called like honor society or something like that they have. I joined them, and that was only for the top 10 people in all of Eastfield College. So my GPA in Eastfield was pretty solid. I did really good because I really had goals then that's whenever the entrepreneurship came in mind. When I really went to college, I started studying business. I was going to transfer from Eastfield College to UTD, University of Texas in Dallas, to get a doctorate. They have a doctorate program for business, which is pretty sweet. I go, man, you know what? I want to get a doctorate and probably just stay in the corporate world and just stay in business, right? So the goal was not entrepreneurship. It was more sort of being corporate world, right? Whenever I barely got into business. But whenever I saw UFit going into these change directions, I go, you know what? This isn't what I want, man. Like, I don't want to be in the corporate world. You know, right? Working for somebody, they'll get rid of you whenever they want. Yeah. Right? You serve them a purpose today, but the day of tomorrow, they're like, man, you know what? We're done with you. And they're done, right? So I go, I don't want this forever. I definitely got to get out of this. So at the time, a client of mine, it was like, hey man, we're hiring at my job. Actually, you fit the, you have all the qualifications. It was a recruiting manager. I was going to be hiring nurses, hiring doctors, therapists, building a relationship with hospitals like UT Southwestern, Parkland, Baylor Hospital, not just in Dallas, but all over the world, at least in the United States of America. So I did that probably for about a year. I mean, it was decent pay, really competitive pay, especially the commission. It was close to a 6-figure paying job, entry level, not bad. So I was happy there. I was decently happy there because of money. But man, I hated my job. I'm not gonna lie. I hated it. I hated it. That's whenever, we had the conversation again. I talked to friends, family members, and they go, man, are you happy with the job? This is so not you. This is not what you like. You like training. You like changing other people's lives. This is not you. And I go, no, I hate it. But I mean, the money is decent. But so, I can't complain. Money's there. And they go, yeah, but are you going to chase a paycheck? Or are you going to chase after your dreams? And that kind of just hit me. But I guess sometimes we need a bit of a push, right? What I'm trying to get at is that sometimes, even though we know that we're in a tough position, we find that comfort zone. And if we're comfortable there, we're not going to make a difference. We're not going to make a change. And so I know what I started doing is I started praying a lot, praying to God, saying, guide me. If this is where you want me to be, then so be. I'll stay here. But if not, give me a sign, something to leave. And so I stayed there for about a year. A year later, I got a call from the VP into the office, and she goes, hey, you know what? Me alongside about 10 other people, they go, hey, you know what? We have to let you go because business has slowed down a lot. But we want to cut you guys a check. We want to cut you guys a $10,000 check. Just sign here. Basically stating that way we can't file unemployment, right? Yeah. They go, we appreciate you guys being here. You're not fired. We're letting you go until further notice. If we need you in the future, we'll call you back.
That's fire, bro.
So I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, it's
fire.
cool. They're offering me $10,000, right? It gives me time to find something else. It's enough for about 2-3 more months of living, right? So yeah, I'll take it. I'm not going to file unemployment. I've never been one to file unemployment. Never will I. And now I say that because I got people working for me, so I hope nobody files unemployment for me, right? But no, so I did that and I took the money. I left. I went out and I fired up my resume, man. At that point, I had tons of experience in corporate level world, in sales, tons of other opportunities have opened up for me at that point. I go in and I apply at different jobs, marketing level positions, sales positions. I got called back from every position that I applied for. Many were offering me the 6-figure level paying job, even 100+. Some were offering, but after I went to every interview, I left and I go, man, this I don't know, something just doesn't feel right. Yeah, like if I come here, I got let go of somewhere to then basically be put in the same exact position. Like this is not what I want. Yeah, the money's not bad, but it's not what I want to do. So man, I made a quick text. I think it was a post or a text on social media. And I go, hey, I'm thinking about getting back in the training world. Who would be down? And so, I had tons of amount of support, man, from old clients. They go, man, if you started training again, we would so be down to train with you. We haven't gotten with the trainer ever since. So we really want to start working out with you. So I go, cool, maybe I could start training again. Let's just get back in the world of training. And so I go, well, I don't have a gym. I don't work at a gym, but I could train you guys at the park in your backyard. Everybody was down. They go, yeah, man, we'd love to. So because I had such good reputation at UFit health clubs, the managers there, even like the top managers were really cool with me. And they go, man, they didn't mind me training there. Right. But I couldn't do it for so long because I wasn't employed by there. Right. Yeah. And I can't say too many things because this is going on live on air. And this is technically something that people probably shouldn't do. Right.
Wait, so sorry to cut you off, but theoretically, couldn't you just go into any gym nowadays and just train somebody? Like
yes and
two
no.
people could just walk in and start training together?
If trainers are watching this, be very careful with that. If you do that, they will revoke your membership. And they will to revoke whoever your clients' members are, right? So I own a gym now, right? So let me just put it in my case now, right? Let's just say David goes to my gym and he has a membership, right? I have personal trainers in my gym, right? Yeah. Okay. But then David has a membership and he's paying me, $45 a month to go in and train. His client pays him $45 a month to go in and train at the gym to train, not have a trainer. But then David is now training people at my facility with my equipment, right? Under my roof. Gotcha. And I go, man, we have employees here to train other people. Right. Okay, yeah. So that definitely is a reason to revoke somebody's member. Any gym will do that unless you pay them. A lot of gyms now have like an independent trainer where they'll charge $500 to $1,000 a month, and you can go into their facility and just train people, right? And you get to charge whatever price point you want. So back into that, basically what I was saying is that I was training people a little bit at UFIT. And then after a while, man, the managers go, hey, dude, we can't do this forever, right? We think you have a pretty good client base. Have you thought about opening up your own place? And yeah, I definitely have, but the fear is there of, man, could I open up a place, right? It's like what you guys are doing. You guys are doing awesome things with this podcast, right? You start off something and it's scary when you start it off.
Oh, heck yeah.
The ideas are there. I already had the name. I had everything. Everything was put in place. I didn't have the courage. I didn't have what it took, man. But after talking to my clients, after, getting feedback from even my old managers, my old bosses, I go, man, you know what? Let's do this. So I found a place out in Mesquite, Texas, a little small space. We opened up and, man, we opened up and we boomed. We killed it.
That was the warehouse, right? Like,
that was before the warehouse. I think you're talking about the Montoya Boxing Gym off of Buckner.
Yeah.
So before that, I had an even smaller space. It was probably about 1,000 square feet total. Very small. It was 3 small rooms. One was an office. One was like a cardio room, and the other one was like a little weight room. It was very small. 6 months, we outgrew it, and we moved out, man.
Oh, I remember. Now I remember that one. And then you moved into the newer.
And then I moved into the warehouse. There you go. I moved into the warehouse. Stayed at the warehouse for about 1.5 years. We killed it there too, and we moved into downtown Dallas. Man, we moved into downtown Dallas. This is where I guess my business career really kicked off and it really started. We moved into downtown Dallas. Whenever I moved into downtown Dallas, the goal was always to go to downtown Dallas. I always wanted that facility. I always wanted a place in downtown, but the finances were just not there. So whenever we moved to downtown, I signed the lease of that place in November, like October 29th of 2019. So this is before COVID. So I signed it. I probably invested a little over $100K into demoing, into painting the walls, into new equipment, into getting the place the way I wanted. Right. So I dug into all my savings I had gotten, and I poured it all into that place. And man, I mean, whenever we moved, I want to say we opened up in about January. I think it was January 1st. We had our grand opening, January 1st, 2020. Oh, okay. So COVID barely kind of started, developing. COVID started coming in, but man, I'm like, man, forget COVID. COVID's not going to affect us, right?
Yeah.
Not thinking about, severely my business could be put at risk. About a month later, probably, we were forced to shut down, man. COVID got out of control, and downtown is obviously a very populated area. Yeah. Security's always around there. Cops are always around there. So cops started following around a lot of my clients, and they go, man, we got followed kind of here. We don't know if, you might have a cop come down here or something, but this is the same cop always looking at us, and he sees us coming in with our gym bag, gym clothes. So they might be like, hey, what's going on? So I go, man, you know what? I think we just got to shut down. So we shut down, man, and whenever we shut down, dude, I hit ground zero.
Yeah, that you put like you said, you put everything into
dude,
it.
I was defeated. I was beat. I didn't know what to do. I was like, man, should I give up? Luckily, I have a strong partner by my side, and I feel like having a strong partner. You say your girlfriend's always supportive, which is great. My wife's always been very supportive, man. Even whenever I opened up the very first gym, we were just dating. She was always there with me. That's what made me fall in love with her, man. Is that she was there since the beginning, right? When there was nothing, right? She was there picking up equipment with me in the middle of the night when she was just a friend, nothing more. And I never asked her, hey, can you come? She would always go, I want to hang out with you. Let's go hang out. And I go, I can't. I'm busy tonight. She goes, well, I'm going to drop my plans. I'll go with you. I'll help you. She was just always that person, just being supportive, right? So whenever COVID hit, man, again, I hit rock bottom. I go, I think I'm going to give up. And she goes, you're not a quitter. You've never given up. And I go, yeah, but don't you think this is what else can I do? I can't do anything. And she goes, pray about it. You've always been a faithful person. You've always put God number one. God wouldn't allow you to get here just to leave you alone now. Just be faithful, have faith, and know that, something good will come out of this. But dude, at that point, you're like, what good can come out of this? I just took $100,000, threw it in here, and I'm done. Like, I'm shut down, bro. Like, nothing good can come out of this.
I'm sorry to cut you off again. Well, can we talk a little bit about how much you invested for that first warehouse, the second warehouse?
Oh, yeah.
Like you said,
that would actually be very good because I think that a lot of people want to start something and they want to invest a bunch into it. So do the first warehouse, man, we probably penny change, bro. Literally, probably about $2,000-$3,000, maybe no more than $5K. So
whenever you signed that lease, right? You signed it for a year, right?
Luckily, the only reason I signed that lease, and you might not always find this opportunity. This was like a once in a lifetime opportunity. The lease, I think for the first place was like $800 a month to month.
That's cheap.
Month to month. Okay, there was
too.
no
Month to month
commitment.
was real good.
There was like, and I go, dude, this is 800, about 1,000. I think with utilities, it came out to like $1,100, $1,200 a month. Dude, just starting off a business, $1,200 a month to month is solid. I go, man, I can't pass up on this deal. I gotta take it. So took about $5K. I had a ton of amount of support from close friends, family members that they go, man, you know what? We have some equipment we're gonna just give to you. We bought some equipment we're gonna gift to you. A lot of the times when I barely started, I was buying things off Facebook Marketplace, off of OfferUp, off of, different places. Now, we got accounts and, we'll go out and we'll buy, commercial grade stuff. But before in the beginning, it was, dude, let's find the best deal. And even now, if I'm going to buy a new pair of dumbbells before I go and buy a brand new, I'll still go on the marketplace because sometimes some of these people are selling commercial grade stuff for a really good price. And as a business owner, quick tip, you want to cut your costs where you can. You can't go cheap always because some things you need really good qualities. But in some things that are going to be, let's just say this table here serves the same purpose as a table that I bought from Marketplace or a table that I bought brand new from like an Ashley's furniture store, right? So it's going to serve the same entire purpose. So warehouse number 2, then going into warehouse number 2, I probably invested not much again, man, maybe about 5 to 10K, maybe doubled it. Still not much. At that point, I still did everything myself. I moved everything. I did a lot of the work myself, renovating it and everything. And then the money really started coming in. And that's when I guess, I go, cool, we can start putting money out to the side, not to invest into the business. Whenever we moved to downtown, I hired movers, even though my friends were like, dude, don't hire movers. We got your back. I go, look, I just don't want to deal with anything. I don't want to deal with a headache. I'd rather just pay somebody. Worst mistake ever. Those movers took really bad care of my equipment. They broke a couple of glass mirrors that we had. It was a horrible experience. I should have just done the work myself, done it with my buddies and just moved everything. But anyways, I bought everything brand new. So it went from 5K to about 10, maybe no more than 15K to then investing about 100K.
Sheesh, that's a big jump from here to here just to go to downtown.
Yeah, man.
So what was the most expensive part about downtown? Was it the monthly rent?
No, the monthly rent wasn't too bad whenever I barely got it. I want to say was about $2,000 at first, but it was very small. I expanded it after COVID, and I'll get into that here shortly. I think it was about $2,000, but I had to put $10,000 as a security deposit to lock in the place, right? And then we had to buy all the paint, we had to buy all the supplies. Dude, just the flooring alone, gym flooring, rubber flooring, I think I spent about $15,000 just in rubber flooring. Yeah, just in the floor. It's pretty pricey. I had an artist go out and paint some murals on the wall. That ran me about $8,000.
Dang, he charged you $8,000 for that whole wall? Or
no, it was the whole thing.
Okay.
It was the whole thing. Yeah, the whole gym. So it's a very good price, very competitive price. I always say, man, if you wanted a good, now that we've done better, I always recommend to start small, but I do always say if the finances are there, don't go cheap in business, man. Your presentation is going to be key. And if you have a nice facility, if you have a nice podcast room, you're going to bring in better clientele, right? So the presentation is always going to be key in business. Don't go cheap in it. I always look at it like I don't mind investing into my business because it's what's paying me back at the end of the day. So if I got to pay, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20K into my business, it doesn't affect me. It won't hurt me as much as if I go, man, I'm going to buy that, whatever, and it's $20,000. I'm going to think 2, 3, 4 times before buying that purchase, right? So in a business, man, you just invest into it if you have a solid game plan, right? So start small, aim bigger, always with hopes and always with goals that you're shooting for something bigger, man. We can't aim small. We always got to aim big.
So let's touch on Life of Ghana?
Taste of Gaia.
Taste of Gaia.
That's where, like I said, in downtown Dallas, this is where a lot of this stuff, the business really came, right? This is where the entrepreneur Angel was really born.
Yeah.
So we were shut down. Clients call me. They go, hey, train us at our house. We'll pay you the same amount of money we pay you at the gym. That was a huge blessing from above.
Yeah.
I did not want to charge them the same price. I'm like, dude, I don't have my equipment. I don't have my gym. I can't charge you. They go, no, we're what do they call them? Essential workers. So luckily we still have work. You don't have work. We want to take care of you the way you've always taken care of us. So I go, cool, man. I really appreciate that. You don't have to, but I greatly appreciate it. I had maybe about 4 or 5 clients, maybe no more than 6 during the pandemic that I was training either at their house or my house, just enough to pay the rent at downtown, enough to pay, my rent at home, my all the cars that I had. At the time I had just bought my GTR too, right? Dream car. I always also say that having all these cars, I've bought tons of different cars. Some people looked at it like a dumb investment. I go, man, that's really what gave me the fire and the spark to work really hard, right? Now I don't. Now, we rent cars and stuff too, which we'll get onto that as well. But Taste of Gaia, whenever we opened back up in downtown Dallas, I think we were shut from like January, February up until about May. In May, we opened back up and it was like New Year's all over again, man. Business was booming. People were ready to come in. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is great. Business did so good that in that same year, we shut down in 2020. We expanded. Whenever we opened up, we were able to expand the gym about another 1,500 square feet and then open another business called Taste of Gaia. Mm-hmm. Reason we opened up Taste of Gaia is I told my wife, man, what if another pandemic happens? What if we're forced to shut down? We need to do something, have a business that's always going to have people coming in, right? Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what. Restaurant, you're always going to have people coming in. So we go, cool. So let's open up a juice bar, something that's going to be able to also go hand in hand with the gym. It'll complement one another, right? We can sell protein smoothies, natural pressed juices, meal preps, etc. You name it. So we open up Taste of Gaia. What is Taste of Gaia? Taste of Gaia. Gaia means earth in Greek, right? Mm-hmm. So taste of the earth, right? That's why the whole name was kind of Taste of the Earth, because it was all natural, all organic ingredients. So why Taste of the Earth? Well, also because I wanted to open up a more Christian-based kind of place, kind of like Chick-fil-A, right? Yeah. So Gaia means earth in Greek. The Bible was originally first written in Hebrew, but the first language it was translated into was into Greek language, right? So cool. So also in there we had in quote on the wall, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1. Yeah, that's cool. So it was always kind of a, let's make it more of a Christian-based environment. We had nothing but Christian music playing there, kind of like in Chick-fil-A, right? People loved it. It was great. My wife was the main one. I was working there in the front. But then we got pregnant. Right. We got pregnant shortly after that. We had a couple of other partners and stuff. They all served different purposes. They all served different roles. So whenever my wife got pregnant, man, it took a really big hit on the bit. She worked up until about 9, right before going into birth. Literally, she was a troop, man. But it was hard for me to see that from my wife being the one always there, and I couldn't be there because I had the gym to take care of. Mm-hmm. My other partners had other businesses to attend to. So I go, man, you know what? I think it just makes sense to let go of this business and sell it. So we sold the business. We sold the business and we just moved forward, man. I mean, I wouldn't say that we profited, but we at least made our money back. We had gone into there. I had probably poured in close to $65,000 into Taste of Gaia. My partners, brought in about $30,000, $40,000. In total, we probably were close to about $150K into that business. Damn,
just to open that one up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You don't even. I would have never thought it would. I thought when you said 40, 50, I was like, okay, that's not too bad. Now you're talking about 100.
And we're talking about in the whenever we barely opened up, I think I came in with about 30 grand. My partners came in with about 10 to 15 grand each. So to open up, we probably had about 50, 60 grand. But I'm talking about entirely since the moment we had it to whenever, because we obviously expanded. We added new equipment. We added, new juicers, new blenders, things like that, new decorations. All that stuff starts to add up. So whenever we sold it, we basically just sold it as it was. And we go, cool, this is our equipment. This is what it's worth. Do you want to take over it? We were lucky enough to find a buyer. Great. We moved on. And, that's one of those things that I've talked about in different podcasts, with different people is, don't be afraid to know when to let go, man. Sometimes you just have to know when to let go because, I'm an entrepreneur now and I look at it like if I kept Taste of Gaia, I would have to take my time out of the gym. And the gym was what's doing really good. It was what was paying the bills. It was, doing great. The gym was even funding Gaia. Yeah. So I go, it doesn't make sense to stop this to go in there. Then maybe Gaia will start doing good. But if I leave the gym business, then the gym business is going to start to take a decline. Yeah. I'm not in a position to do that. Mm-hmm. So you got to make, hard decisions as a business owner sometimes. And sometimes, even though it may, hurt your ego, hurt your pride, man, you got to put that out to the side and go, man, nah, it's not about my ego. It's not about my pride. It's about what makes sense, what makes financial sense, and what's the next best step to do. So, that's kind of back about Gaia.
Now let's touch back into your new gym where's the new one in Farmers Branch?
It's in Farmers Branch. That's correct.
So how much did that one cost to get into moving? Like you said, now you were 100K in downtown. Now you're going from there to Farmers Branch. What is the pricing looking like out there?
So I saved a lot of money now because Evoren, which we'll get into, my contracting company, we went in and we did a lot of the work ourselves.
Okay, gotcha.
We did a lot of the work ourselves. We did a lot of, the labor, and even like with materials and stuff, I find, the best prices. I have wholesalers and stuff who give me a good price. So it's still, even then it was close to about 100 grand again, because the space is bigger. But that's not including obviously, what we did, me paying out my guys from Evoren, right? So basically the company absorbed a big cost of that to help out the gym. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, hey, you know, one business helping the other, it's fine, right? It's fine as it is. So yeah, moving into Farmers Branch, man, it was a much needed move also because a building in downtown, it sold. And so here's another thing also for other people watching. I've done a lot of leasing from the past, right? Leasing warehouses, leasing gyms, leasing offices. And I want to say that if you're in a position to buy, it's much better to buy than it is to lease. Why? Because when you lease, they're always going to change a lease every 6 months, every year, the lease will change. Yeah. Also, if you decide, like when I sold Gaia, you really just sell the name. You really just sell, you know, your equipment. But if you were to sell the business, let's say I sell the gym business the day of tomorrow, I can't actually sell a warehouse. So just to give you an idea, since I started the gym business 6 years ago, I've probably spent close to a little more than $500,000 in paying rent.
Sheesh.
Just in downtown Dallas, I think I paid about $250,000 in rent, paying rent in the past 2-3 years. I left downtown. Where's that money? It's gone.
Gone.
Yeah, it made me money during the time that I was there. But wouldn't it have been smarter to buy a piece of land, finance it, pay it off as I go, and still make money as I'm going? And then if I decide to sell the business, I now sell the business and I sell a piece of land, or I'm going to keep the piece of land for something else
and lease it out to somebody else, or whatever the case may be.
So real estate, commercial real estate, you know, land development, and that's where also Evoren Development came about, man. You know, I started getting all these ideas. You go into business, you don't have all the answers. People tell me, man, you know, we just wish that we had all the answers. Dude, you're never going to have all the answers, right? People go, you make it look easy. No, I don't. People just see the pretty, the wins that I have. Nobody sees the struggles, man. Nobody sees. I can tell you right now, I've been at the top. I've also been at the bottom. Yeah. And, you know, I've climbed my way back up to the top, man. So it's not easy. It's not pretty. It's not an easy journey. There's been times that, man, I just go, I want to give up. I want to quit. But man, we just pulled through, right? We pulled through and we remember our why and we remember the purpose that we're serving. And man, I mean, I would much rather be working for myself and creating, you know, something for my family than to be working for somebody else and fulfilling somebody else's dreams.
Yep. I tell people that all the time. So to touch on what, with the new one in Farmers Branch, why Farmers Branch? And two, do you own the building for Farmers Branch, the Farmers Branch location?
So I don't own the building. The reason being is we were on a very limited time crunch to get out of downtown Dallas. Why Farmers Branch also? I always kind of wanted to be in Plano area, Carrollton area. It's a nice area, right? So the nicer the area, nicer demographic, right? The higher you get to sell your business point again, right? So Farmers Branch, it's not that I really was sold on Farmers Branch. It's that I found a good deal. I found a sweet deal. I couldn't pass it up. It was a big space. You know, the price point was right where I wanted it to be at. So I go, man, you know what? Why not? Let's take it. It's almost twice the size of the gym in downtown Dallas. So I go, yeah, man, let's take it. It's got everything. It's got, you know, my private office. It's got a break room for my employees. It's got a lounge area. We offer complimentary Wi-Fi. We have saunas in there. We have our gym space, and then we also have a private room where we have dance classes. We have yoga classes, posing classes for bodybuilding and stuff. And so dance classes is something new that we implemented too. And our dance instructor, 2 dance instructors, Isabel, she's a great dancer. She's choreographed for a lot of celebrities like Faith. She's actually danced with the team of Carol G. She's also danced. She danced at the Super Bowl, I think 2010 when Black Eyed Peas were there. And then our other dance instructor, Adriana, who's a dancer for Dallas Mavericks.
Okay. So they all know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They're great, man. We just don't have anybody at AlphaAesthetics Gym. That's for sure. We sell quality at the gym, man. And you know, whoever goes out, whether it's take a personal training class, whether it's train at the gym, whether it's take a dance class, they're gonna have an experience of a lifetime. So Farmers Branch, again, it's not that we were sold on it. It's that the price point was right. It was big. It was kind of in that area where I go Farmers Branch, where I go Plano, Carrollton, Addison. It's a nice area. Yeah, let's do it. Let's sign on.
Higher demographic, everything like that. I like that though. That makes sense. That's what you want to do. Is like you said, bring your business to a higher quality. Instead of just being cheap.
And you know, downtown, even though I loved it, it was my baby. We had a lot of complaints for parking.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I remember I had went there one time to go try out what is it? Life of God. I can't even
Taste of Gaia.
Yeah, Taste of Gaia. And I went and tried it, and I was like, "Where am I supposed to park?" Yeah, I was like, "Where am I supposed to park to try this place out?" So where did people have to park at the bottom of the building?
Dude, at meters. No, there was no parking underground. Unfortunately, that building doesn't have parking, and so it was just parking in meters. So a lot of the times, You know, if it was like a client that's been going already for a solid, you know, couple weeks, couple months, they're cool with it. They're familiar with it. But what happens whenever I'm marketing and I sell somebody new that doesn't even know me, that, you know, that doesn't know a thing about my brand, about my company. They just saw an ad on Facebook or Instagram, or they heard about me from someone else. They go there. They're probably not even motivated to work out. And the minute they get there, they don't find parking. They're looping around 10, 15 times. They go, man, I've been looping around for the past 20 minutes. I don't find parking. I'm going to dip. I'm going to go. So I started seeing that we started losing a lot of money on the table because of that. And I go, man, I can't afford to just have this. I really can't. And then it was really what confirmed was whenever we started dance class, because dance class, it was always new people, right? New people coming in. My dance instructor was like, man, you know, I didn't have nobody show up today because, you know, I had 4 or 5 people that were coming, but they couldn't find parking. So they head out. Dang. And I go, man, we just can't have this. But again, you know, it was that comfort zone. A part of me was scared because of all the money I had thrown in there. And then it wasn't until the building sold. Then when the building sold, they go, hey, you can stay here, but we plan on making this into an apartment, into you know, more of a living area, because it was his business before. Yeah. So I go, great, that could benefit me in the future. But what about in the process of the demoing? What's going to happen whenever you guys are remodeling the place? This place is not suited for apartment. There's not even, you know, plumbing for showers. And they go, well, when that happens, we're going to have to shut you down. And I go, shut me down for how long? They go, it could be a week, could be a month. So I go, nah, I can't have that, man. I really can't. I mean, that's just not good business planning for me. Yeah, whenever it's said and done and these are apartments, there could be a lot of business, but that could be between now and a year. Right? That's an 18-story building. That's going to be a lot of construction to be done. So I go to stay here and wait for the opportunity to come, or to go out and create it on my own. You can't wait around for the opportunity to come. We have to go out and make it ourselves. So I took the decision to leave. I left real quick and found the place in Farmers Branch. My company, Evoren, you know, went in, we did everything, which is kind of where the company also started, because it wasn't a company yet. I just had my crew of guys and stuff. And it was always an idea of something that I wanted to do, because even though I hired people to do the thing in downtown Dallas and do the renovating, I was the person in the back end. I was basically the person envisioning everything and setting everything. So basically I was laying out everything like a designer, exactly the way that I wanted it. So I kind of had a passion to do something within the lines of construction, within the lines of building homes, of, you know, building, you know, commercial properties. Yeah. So whenever I left from downtown Dallas, it was a big scare for me, because I go, man, I've invested so much time here, so much money here. But out of every downfall, it's in our deepest pressures and in our deepest, most struggling moments that we grow the most, and then new opportunities arise. I can tell you that every time that I've evolved into something bigger, it's never been when things are good. It's always been when things are, I'm at rock bottom, and then I come out on top even stronger. It's always been that way.
You got to pivot somehow.
You always got to find a way, and there's always a way. I tell everybody, you might feel like you're in the darkest tunnel right now, wherever. If somebody's watching this right now, you may feel like you're in the darkest tunnel. You may feel like it's the end of the world for you. Just hang on a little more, because I guarantee you, at the end of every dark tunnel, there's always light. There's always going to be light at the end of every tunnel. You can't lose hope. You can't lose hope. Some people go through it a little bit longer than others. Some people may hit success a lot faster than others. Everybody's timing comes differently. But, you know, if we just hang on and we believe in ourselves, then it's crazy what you're capable of doing when you just believe in yourself, man. You have to be your biggest fan.
And I love it too, because you have, like you said, you had your support system with your wife and everything like that. She believed in you so much more than you probably. She believed in me more
than I believed in myself, right? So I can't just tell you guys to believe me. Having a partner, when you have a strong partner, you've won probably, I would say, more than about 65, 70% of the battle is already won if you have a strong supportive partner. You know, and having a partner is you got to be very careful with that, man, because I've seen so many friends also go down and give up on their dreams because, unfortunately, their partner is just not supportive. So if you feel like you're in that position to where, you know, you have a partner who's not supportive, maybe it's time to really ask yourself, do you really want to continue to stay in that, you know, relationship, in that marriage, in that, you know, whatever, or, you know, is it maybe time to, again, to move on to something else? Right. I feel that a partner should complement, you know, and the man shouldn't just think that the wife should be supportive to them. No, the guy needs to be supportive to the wife too. It needs to be that we complement each other, right? It's like a partnership, right? It's like you compliment me and I compliment you, right? It's like when we're together, we're unstoppable, right? It's like I tell people all the time, whenever I'm alone doing, you know, whatever in business, I feel like I'm only, 50% me is there. If I have my wife there, it's a confidence booster. I know that I can seal the deal even more. She just gives me that other compliment. So it's always great to have a strong partner by your side.
So at this point, how did you even when did the cars come into play for everything like that? Because I know you started a car rental business, right?
Man,
or
that
something
was,
like that.
I think that was in, I want to say probably around downtown, because I've always done car shows. I've always, been big into fitness and cars. And that's where a lot of people would always tell me, man, why have you not invested, thrown so much money away into these cars? The cars that I've bought have not been cheap and have thrown a lot of money into them, into modifying them. If I say the number, my wife will probably hang me.
No, you should say it.
She already knows. The GTR, man, that car is, people watch, it's close to $100,000.
Yeah.
I bought the car. I told her I'd keep it stock. Within 3 months, I invested it's not an investment. I threw in about close to $30,000 into it.
So that car's at least $100K now.
Oh yeah, definitely more. But it's always a dream that I had, man. I go, if I had a GTR, I wanted it to spit flames. And I go, I need to modify it. And then I go, if I have a GTR, I wanted to have a huge wing on it. Yeah. The wing on it alone was close to $3,000.
It's
right?
carbon fiber?
Carbon fiber, yeah. So, I had already the things in my mind. And I go, the only reason I've been working this hard is to get these things, So that's what motivated me. That's what fueled me. I sold the GTR. I got a Corvette Z06. I promised my wife I'd keep it stock again. I'm like, this time I swear I'm going to keep it stock. I kept it stock for 2 weeks.
Right back in
2 weeks, bro. The business was doing good. Money was there. I sent it back into the shop, about $10,000 to $12,000. Bam, right there. It's like, you just bought a car. The Corvette was close to $80,000. And now you're already putting it in the shop to modify. Yeah, definitely. Had fun with it. And then the pandemic came. And whenever the pandemic came, the car market was crazy, man. It was freaking insane.
Crazy.
And I just found out my wife was pregnant too. Well, this was actually a little bit after the pandemic already. This was like in 2020, whenever the car market started doing really good. I think 2021, 2022. I'm not exactly sure when that was, somewhere around there, but it's whenever my wife had barely got pregnant. And they called me from Texas Hot Ride. That's where I bought the GTR. That's where I bought the Corvette. That's typically where I buy all my cars from. And they go, hey man, we'll offer you, $10K over what you bought the Corvette from us for. If you sell it to us. So I go, man, are you serious? And they go, yeah. And I go, well, damn, I'm scratching my head now. Like, should I? I mean, technically, the money that I put into it, I'm getting back. And it would be like if I had this car for about a year for free. Literally. Yeah, for free. I literally had it for free. Mm-hmm. I go, you know what? Yeah, I'm down. Let's sell it. I go, I can't really have this car when my baby comes. It was extremely loud. It was fully built. It was cammed. That thing was loud, bro. It would shake the whole house when I turned it on the garage. It was pushing close to 800 horsepower to the wheel. And I go, man, you know what? I can't have this with a kid. I just can't. This is not these fumes and stuff, because there's no cat, right? There's no catalytic converter. This would be very toxic, harmful fumes for my baby to breathe in. So yeah, I sold the car. As soon as I sold it, then that's when I go, man, you know what? What if I got into cars, but not, I love cars, but got into them in a way that I make money from them. So instead of them having them be a liability, I now turn them into an asset. Mm-hmm. So I go, let me start a car rental company, but strictly only renting out higher end cars, exotic cars. So the very first car, again, if you're starting a business, this is bad advice from Angel, because, Angel now has made a decent amount of money in business. Yeah. The very first car that I bought for the rental company was a C8 Corvette. I think I paid about $150,000 for that car. Not a good idea if you're barely starting out. If you're barely starting out, you want to start off somewhere smaller, of course. But I go, man, I've got experience in business already. I've got the connection. So let me go right into it. I bought a C8 Corvette. We bought a Camaro SS to put it right into a brand new Camaro SS to put into the rental fleet as well. The Camaro was about $60,000. So we put about $200,000 just to start off that business.
And that's all finance?
Yes, that was all finance.
Finance under the LLC?
Finance under the LLC. So it's actually they were actually leased vehicles because you lease them under your company to do a complete write-off. Never buy them, because if I were to took $200,000 and just thrown into that, think about it, it's $200,000 that I just took into that, right? Mm-hmm. But if you got good credit, right, and you got to have good credit to be able to do these things. So if you got good credit, and as a business owner, your credit should be a top priority. Yep. So I've always been about building my credit and, putting things on my credit under my business that I know I'm going to pay off. So I went out and took the cars out under the business credit. My credit's there, zero down. Every time I bought any car, I had zero down, right? Because I've built good relationship with my bankers, good relationship everywhere that I go. And again, it's a matter of the relationship that you build and your credit score where it's at. So I was able to get these cars with zero down, and the monthly payments for both cars were a little under $4,000
each
for both.
Oh,
both.
okay.
Yeah, the Corvette a little over $2,000, the Camaro about $1,000. So
and then
was three, and then insurance. Right? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. A little under $4,000.
Okay, that's not too bad.
So it's not too bad. But then now you run into great. We started pushing the Camaro and the Corvette are both great cars to promote, especially the CA Corvette. It looks like a Lamborghini, like a McLaren, right? They're attention getters. So everywhere I go in the Corvette, people go, man, what do you do to have this car? What do you do for a living? Literally, everybody asks me that. It's crazy. I go to the gas station, everybody always asks me. And I go, I actually rent out these cars. And I go, oh, really? So I pass them out a business card. Dang, really? You rent out these cars? Yeah, absolutely. So then, bam, automatically, that's now a lead that now could potentially come in. And I had a couple of people actually call me back like that. And they go, hey, I ran into you at the gas station. My son's prom is coming up, or I wanted my wife's birthday. I want to spoil her. How much to rent out the car? I was charging, depending on the seasons. In the summertime, it was a little bit more. The wintertime was a little bit less. I was charging anywhere from $350 to $700 a day to rent out the Corvette.
Sheesh, for the day.
For the day, correct. So it's good, but you have to. This is now thinking into logistics too, into numbers. You go, great. Let's just say best comes to best. You rent it at $700 a day, right? Let's just say you rent it out once a week, because it's very hard to have a repeating customer on a high level car. Typically, the cars that rent out every day are going to be your daily drivers, like a Honda Civic, Honda Accord, cars that are good in gas, right? So an exotic car, something along the lines of a sports car, is going to be rented out mainly on weekends because it's going to be a joyride. Yeah. So your best bet is going to be, it's going to be rented out twice in a weekend. When you do twice in a weekend, you would rent it out, cut the customer a deal. Sometimes I would go as low as $800 for 2 days. It'd be very rare whenever I would make the $700. That was like in the prime, maybe like for prom time, I'd make $700 for a day. But so on average, I was getting about $800 for a 2-day rental for that car, right? So $800 a day. If it's only rented out, 4 times throughout the month, you're barely making what you have to do to pay the car off, right? You're barely making enough, and then parking a little bit, but that's not the point of a business. So I go, great. So the name of this business is not really the car that you have, but more volume. I need more volume. I need to have 10, 15 plus cars options. In order for this to be profitable and be scalable. So I go, cool. So then we brought in, that's whenever, buddies of mine started going, hey, would you rent out the car for me? Kind of like a consignment thing, to where they go, you rent it out, and then, you give us maybe 20, 30% profit. You keep the rest for your company. So cool. So we brought in a Tesla Model S, a Plaid edition. Dude, that thing, believe it or not, do not do good in rentals at all. What? I would have thought that would car that's friggin', this car had 1,000+ horsepower, right? Again, it was great to do marketing and promo videos, but that was about it. People were calling about more, daily cars, more cars that were easily accessible, or they were calling about, Lamborghinis and McLaren. So the next car we were about to purchase was a McLaren 570S. We were about to get into that, but right before we decided to get into that, that's whenever I kind of go, man, you know what? I told my wife, I really want to get into land development and real estate and stuff. I go, so, she goes, well, is buying this car really going to be the next bet? Let's say you buy the car, great, but have you thought about maintenance on this car? It's even going to be more than your Corvette. And I go, yeah, absolutely. And they cost around the same, because the Corvette, like I said, it was close to about 150. The McLaren 570S, I can get it for about 180K. So they're around the same price range. And I go, well, if I buy the McLaren, great. It starts breaking down. That's whenever then I started noticing that people were, the Corvette, thank God, never got misbehaved. One of my personal Lexus IS, I decided to put it in for rentals too. And that people curb rashed the heck out of those rims. The Corvette was actually stolen out in Houston, Texas. So I didn't get into that. But so once I started noticing the people misbehaving the cars got stolen, the cops didn't do anything. They just go, hey, just follow it to your insurance, claim it as a loss. I go, man, I don't know if this is a business that I want to continue to pursue. I do it because I love the cars. But at the same time, I'm letting other people enjoy my cars, and they're mistreating them. They're dogging them. And so I go, man, you know what? Cool. I think I'm just going to probably rent out here and there, but not really focus on that. It's not as beneficial unless you're willing to, again, have a ton of cars. But then if you have a ton of cars, you got to have different options, not just higher end cars. And I go, this is not what I want. I really wanted to do this business because I wanted to have only high end cars. But I go, man, it's just not worth it. So I didn't take a loss there at all, which is great. I still have the Corvette actually. I just rent it out now to a buddy of mine who's basically, he's like leasing to own it, right? Okay. So the Corvette is paying for itself, which is great. We were actually in the process a couple of months back of swapping out the Corvette for a Lamborghini Huracan. Still probably in the process of that, but it's still in the works. But so yeah, we decided to leave nightlife luxury rentals. It wasn't a loss. It was only learning experience. And it was definitely a fun kind of thing to do, right? We didn't take no losses there, which is great, but it was definitely a fun little chapter to get into. That's for sure.
So how did you even get into, I know you said you wanted to get into like the real estate and the development and everything like that. So when did that all come into play? Cause like you said, you were having these thoughts and these ideas
since downtown.
Oh, because you were always
downtown, bro. Yeah. Because I had a buddy there named Omar Gallegos. His company name is OG Contracting. I always saw he was one of the guys that were sending me a lot of his guys to do like the demoing and stuff at the gym, or the one that I had in downtown. So we basically built it together. He was, sending out his people. He was showing me a lot of it. And, I just get inspired, man. I get like, every time I see somebody do it, I'm like, damn, this is pretty dope, man. This is pretty cool. Like, you're now taking somebody else's, if you're doing commercial, you're taking somebody else's business and you're making it to their liking. So think about you turning a project to somebody who has a big dream to open a gym or to open a podcast studio or, to open a warehouse for whatever, like a car shop. You make it for them and they walk in, that very first moment they walk in, they go, wow, man, you brought my dream to life, right? Mm-hmm. And so I go, man, you know what? I think I want to start doing this at some point later on too. So I just started, hanging out, with my buddy Omar a lot, asking him tons of questions. And I go, you know what? This will be something that I'll have to do at a later point in my life though, because this requires a lot of time. It's a lot of hands-on. And not having a partner in the gym, I go, man, I don't have, if I do this, that means I'm going to have to leave the gym and I don't want to leave the gym. And so whenever I moved downtown, I brought on a partner actually, man. I brought on a business partner. A business partner came in, bought into the business, brought in their ideas, brought in their helping hands, which was great. And so, we brought them in. And I don't know when this is going to air, but I hope that it doesn't air, like ASAP. No. But I mean, we'll talk. This is going to be the very first time nobody knows this. Okay. So this is going to be this is like speaking raw, uncut, like on your podcast. Yeah. So even my people don't even know about this, but I'm actually stepping down as CEO of my company, AlphaAesthetics Gym.
So I was just about to ask you.
Yeah. So I'm stepping down as CEO of my company. It's a decision that man, it took me years to be able to say, it's official, but it is 100% official. Paperwork is in place. We have accounting, we have our lawyers in place. So I'm officially stepping down as a CEO of my company.
That's a big move.
For bigger things to come, man. Mm-hmm. For bigger things to come. And we're in the process of whether to either have, my partner completely take over or just to even sell the brand as is itself. Why? The decision came upon whenever I moved from downtown Dallas into Farmers Branch. I go, cool, I'm going to bring on a partner. And, I have different goals now. I got different dreams into getting in land development, into, basically I'm now signing a deal to now become a builder for a custom project homes as well. Jeez. With an architect firm. So we're doing really good. I barely started this company, Evoren, in January, literally this year. Yeah, and we've grown tremendously. It's amazing the scale that we're growing at. It's all about, the people, man, and doing good jobs. And whenever you do the jobs and never aiming small. Whenever I started this company, I never wanted to aim small. Literally, whenever I got into this company, I want to steer away from residential. I only want to focus in commercial because commercial is where I'm going to grow. Yeah. And so I go, if I do residential, I only want to do custom homes. Everything, the power, whenever you speak something into the world listens and it will deliver. Everything I've said, literally, like it's not no bragging rights. It's to hopefully inspire somebody. Everything I've ever said, I've accomplished. Every little goal I've accomplished. Sometimes some are faster than others. I told myself I want to build. I want to get into commercial properties, building properties, renovating and stuff. Cool, we did it. I go, if I do residential, it's only going to be to do builds because I would love to do custom built homes. Mm-hmm. I got sought out from a company an architect firm who goes, hey, we want to bring you on board to do custom homes, anywhere from 3,000 to 35,000 square foot homes. This is a huge opportunity for us, man. 3,000 to 35,000 square foot homes. 35,000 square foot homes, we're talking about mansions.
Yeah,
Like these are huge, right? So now it's about getting, the manpower, getting everything that we need right. And so my time is now, as you can see where I'm going with this, dude, doing these kinds of projects, I can't be in the gym. I can't. I as much as I would want to, and as much as I love the gym, I really can't. Breaks my heart. It's sad, yes, but I feel like I've done the gym business now for the past 12 years that I can officially remove myself and go, I'm happy. That was my first baby. It brought me to be where I am today. I'm not leaving in bad terms. I profited a lot of money. I changed over 1,000 people's lives. My company, AlphaAesthetics, we're ranked number 2 in all Dallas nutritionists. We're ranked top 10 trainers in all of Dallas, Texas. We've been featured in tons of different articles, tons of different, things, publications in Dallas, Texas. So I did what I wanted in my city in Dallas, Texas. Mm-hmm. I'm now leaving in good terms. I'm now leaving, in the best of terms, I feel. And we're moving on to the next thing. And so moving on into this company, like I said, I've always been about helping other people. So what really sold it for me was, man, if we build a business, I'm creating a business for somebody. And the first minute they walk in, they go, wow, my project's brought to life. If I build a home, homes is going to be the forever home. For some people it might be an investment, but they go, man, your company did this for me. Mm-hmm. And so, now that I've been in the process of this, I've also been invited to, just last week, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go because, again, my time is very limited, to go out and speak to a group of kids in the Dallas ISD.
That's cool.
And I've spoken at a school in Garland. And again, this goes back to what I wanted to do since 15, 20 years ago. Being there, being a helping hand, inspiring other people, man. I love coming on and podcasts. I love going out and speaking to the youth. So if I'm in a position to be able to do that, that's exactly what I want to do, man. I want to take my learning experiences in business and entrepreneurship, my downfalls, my wins, my successes, and be a voice to those who want to start. Because if I can be a voice to just even one person, man, that's everything, right? So now I want to be in a position to where I go, man, you know what? I want to, number one, spread the gospel, right? If you put God number one in life, I believe that we are all gifted with one unique talent by God. Mm-hmm. We just have to search and find that.
Yep.
But the thing is that you can't, and this was even tricky even for me up until a couple of weeks ago, is that, when we pray to God, and we ask, for his guidance, a lot of the times we ask for his guidance, but we want him to guide us with the things that we want.
Yeah.
Right? We go, guide me into having my gym, guide me into having a podcast, guide me into being a millionaire, right? Like, what about if we ask, guide me into the person you want me to be? Guide me into whatever it is that I do, that it's a purpose to serve you. Mm-hmm. When you understand that and you grasp that, man, your life completely changes. So now it's not so much about guide me into what I want, but no, guide me into the person that you want me to be. Mm-hmm. Let me use, my tools. Let me use, my voice to be a messenger of your word, and, use my testimony, use my story to be there, to inspire somebody else, inspire somebody watching. Because again, it's in those moments that when we're struggling the most, we come out and we grow the most from, and it's because God just can't give us, a lot of the times I've even heard, and even me, whenever I struggled during the pandemic, during COVID, I go, why, God? We don't understand.
Yeah.
We don't understand his why. But, if you're a parent, that sometimes your kids have to go through a bit of a struggle for them to learn. Because if we just make it easy for them, they'll never learn.
They'll never learn.
If I never would have gone through the pandemic, through COVID, if I never would have gone through, all the struggles that I had, from getting laid off of the job whenever, I was, from the VP, I would have never had the courage to be where I'm at now today. Mm-hmm. So in the moment, you don't understand. You go, I don't understand. Why am I going through? Why, God? Why are you putting me through this? Mm-hmm. If you love me so much, how could you let me go through this?
Yeah. Which makes a lot of
question, man.
Where do you find your inspiration to just keep going every single day?
I love that, man. It's now it's my family. Now it's my daughter. Every time I get home and I see, the smile on her face, my wife, the people around, the people watching this. so many people, believe in me. And I go, man, I got so many people looking up to me. Now I have, so many people that, I also employ who, they're able to give, their family depends on their paycheck, and their paycheck depends on, how good the company does. So now it's having all that, man. And it's, man, you know what? I can't let the people down. I can't let the people down, man. Now it's not just letting myself down. Now it's letting my wife down, letting the employees down, letting, the people who are maybe watching and getting motivated down. We can't give up.
You don't want to let your supporters down.
We don't want to let supporters down, man. Like I said, and my daughter and my wife, man, everything we do now, it's for them, right? Someday, whenever my time comes, I would hope that my daughter were to look at what we did and continue our legacy.
Like, this is all, like my dad.
Yeah.
I just got to keep building on it now and moving forward. So in the next 5 years, where would you see yourself being in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, man, you guys are going to hear it, seeing Evoren builders all over Dallas, Texas, not just in Dallas, but, all over statewide, man.
That would be crazy.
So, we're on really great pace to do that. Fingers crossed, praying to God. Not just that, that's going to be for the business side of it, but also alongside of that is to take the platform and to take, because people see that and they get inspired by you, right? And they go, man, this guy's done so much. So be able to take my voice and speak, in different seminars, speak in different, different platforms, to continue to do what we've done, but at an even larger scale, to give other people just the inspiration that they need, right? Sometimes people, their family members don't believe in them. They don't have a support system. And I want to be that support system for them, to let them know that you are created for greatness.
Yep.
You are destined for greatness. Don't give up. Just keep pushing forward.
When you say that, it ever reminds me of this clip I seen of Gary Vee, where this girl says, I want to be somebody one day. He goes, no, stop. You already are. You already are. You just got to believe it. And the only person who's going to believe it more than anybody else is you. So with that being said, have you thought, like, let's say the opportunity comes, would you think about, I guess, buying the land and then starting your own community?
That's
and like building houses and stuff. I know you said
again,
you didn't want to get into residential, but
I already bought a piece of land.
Oh, okay.
I bought a piece of land.
So it's an idea that's
so I just
there.
A month ago I bought a piece of land and I'm building a home and I'm going to sell it.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna get into that. I was saying, like, what if you buy, let's just 50 acres and you build a whole community and then selling all
that's
those
step
houses.
one. Step one was buying my first piece of land.
Okay,
step
gotcha.
two, if I like it and it goes great, I'm already speaking to some realtors. We're looking into 20 acres to buy and build a couple of homes. So yes,
that's crazy.
You dove right into where I'm going. You guys heard it first, but yeah, that is the plans for Evoren Development.
That's great. So you're based with Evoren Development. It's real estate development, right?
So what is Evoren Development? So the actual name, we do business as Evoren. The actual LLC is Evolve Renovations. Okay. So Evolve is, think of an idea of, you have an idea. So now great, now you want to evolve it, right? Mm-hmm. So then, you think of the renovating process, you come in and you build it, right? So that's where Evolve Renovations come in. So Evoren is short for evolve and renovate, right? Okay, gotcha. Now the development part comes in the land development. Gotcha. So if you look at the logo here, people can see the logo, it's Evolve, a light bulb, right? Yeah. So you have an idea. There's a missing piece of the puzzle that's kind of floating out. Yeah, the puzzle then clicks, and whenever the puzzle clicks, it's whenever, bam, the idea is complete. So kind of the slogan that we go into is, if you have a dream, we can build it, right? Yeah. There isn't anything that we can't build, man. I've got, roofers on my team. We got concrete people on my team. We have framers. We have, painters. We have everything. So getting into this world of, contracting for me was, I like to aim big, man. Everything that I do, I don't ever like to aim small. So I go out. If I get into contracting, I don't just want to be the painter that goes and paints a house. I don't just want to be the guy that pours the concrete. I want to do it all.
The whole thing.
I want to do it all. Why am I going to go and my customer's going to say, hey, Angel, do you know somebody who does roofing? And send them somebody. No, I'm going to send them to me, man. We do that. Yeah, absolutely. We do that. We're going to take great care of you.
We're going to do it. We do everything.
We do everything. Exactly, man.
That's good. All right. So I have one more question before I pass off to Roger and we wrap this up. What is some advice that you can give to anybody else that's trying to do any different business moving forward in their life to take that risk?
So I'm going to answer that. I'm going to ask both of you guys that question too, right? Because I think it'll be, you guys got something great going on too. So I think any advice is just don't be afraid. Just get up and do it. You have to have the courage to do it, but also just it has to make sense, right? When I say what it has to make sense is what plan do you have? You go, I want to have a business, right? Let's just go, someone goes, I want to open up a gym and I want it to be really successful. Great. So what are the plans? What are the steps that you need, right? You have your goal, but then set your SMART goals, right? You got to set realistic and attainable goals in order to reach that. So as long as you believe in yourself, number one. Number two, if you have realistic goals put in place, last but not least, have a support system. And if you have no support system, just know that you have to be your biggest supporter. You got to go on, you got to like all your posts, hack your girl's account, share all the stuff. You got to be pushing that, man. So if you have a goal, just get up, chase after it. You never know. I know that for me, I had some pushes, some people that, they laid me off, my wife being very supportive, but now me being to where I could look back, man, if I wouldn't have had any of that and I would have stayed, that would have been the biggest mistake that I ever made. So if you're in a position to where you feel like you don't have no support, just know that you were never alone. You have to be your biggest supporter. God always is going to support you no matter where it is you're at. And your boy Angel's going to be here rooting for you, all right? So believe in yourself. David, Roger, they're going to be supporting you guys. And I'm sure that, they'll be out and they'll help you guys promote your business on this lovely podcast that they got going on. So thank you for everything you guys are doing. It's really awesome, man.
No, I appreciate you for taking time out of your busy day and everything else you got going on to just come on here and just spread your greatness to everybody else so they can see the ins and outs of what it is to be an entrepreneur, literally what it is to be an entrepreneur. Because not every single business you start is gonna be the business.
So then I was gonna be the one.
The one. You gotta.
I started at 4 already, guys. 4, literally. Gym is my baby. Gaia was a great learning curve. The car rentals, it was something that I had as a passion, but it was just kind of a fun thing. Gym is my baby, number 1. Number 2, Evoren is kicking off in a great thing. So Evoren is doing amazing starting off, but everything comes in different timing. So just because it's doing good for me, don't expect that you can start the same thing and it's going to do good. Timing comes different. There's some friends who have started their company and they grew at a much faster pace than me, but I'm just trusting the process, enjoying it and going as we go.
Like there was this idea where I wanted later on to eventually have my own like just private gym where anybody that can just come in and just work out basically for free. But now when you tell me all the extra stuff that needs to go into having your own gym, I'm just like, yeah, you know what? That idea is just an idea. It's good maybe just to be an idea right now and not
it's good.
Start investing
don't get
in
steered away from it. Anybody watching, it's a great, business to get into. If you have a passion for it, you're gonna love it. But yeah, I mean, don't let that steer you away, man. If you really want to go for it, go for it. But it's a lot more that goes into personal training. A lot of the times people would just go, they would look at me like he said, they might just think he just trains people. And then when he's done, he just goes and sits in the office. Nah, there's a lot more that goes on to that than just that.
Yeah, and that's what that was like. That gives me the reality to say, hey, maybe you don't want your own personal gym and for people to come through and stuff like that. Because it sounds cool, and that's something that I just wanted. But I think it just works better if you have that passion behind it, which I love working out too, like you said. But it's just I don't think I have that passion to want to have to own a gym, make sure it's ran the right way, and be there.
I was there 20 hours at times a day, dude.
Sheesh, yo. Like literally live in the gym.
Legit, like basically, you can't live in it because you can get fined for it. You can't live in your business, right? Unfortunately, for anybody watching, you can't. Yeah, I know it's a little crazy if you get caught, right? If you spend the night there's nothing wrong. But like if city comes by, they see your whole clothes is there, you have your kitchen there, you'll get a fine. You get shut down.
I didn't even know that. But again, I want to, before we wrap this up, thank you so much for coming and taking time out of your day for real to just come over here and just spread your message to everybody, the positiveness and everything. So I really, really appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys. Thank you, David. Thank you, Roger. You guys are doing awesome things. Tune in, subscribe to these guys. Give them tons of thumbs up. All right, you guys better give them thumbs up.
Like, share.
You want to? If you found this helpful, share it out. These guys are doing incredible things.
Thank you for another episode of Direct Discussions. We'll see you on the next one. See you.